Mm-hmm. Okay, it's Tuesday at 8:30. It's Tuesday. No, it's Thursday. Is it Thursday? It's Thursday. Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm here. A little bit fatigued. Busy day. I'm sure a lot of people are having busy days nowadays. It just seems like it never ends. But yeah, I'm very happy to be here. Um, Today, we're gonna do. Actually, it's going to be more of a presentation. And for some of those of you who have been following or attending a lot of these calls, it might be a bit of repetition. The topic I am going to talk about today is forgiveness. And the reason I am pulling up this topic yet again is because one of the most common questions I get is that people are having a hard time forgiving someone who's hurt them, whether it was intentional or unintentional. And one of the biggest things people have is forgiving themselves. And forgiving yourselves is so important because you really start to grow. You start to really, if you start to cut all that crap that you regret, you really start to move in a really positive direction. Forgiving yourself is hard because we all have regrets. We all have I should have, I could have, I shouldn't have done that. And then sometimes energetically we might forgive someone who has hurt us, or no, it's kind of like our minds want to forgive, yet energetically we can't forgive. So it's very interesting because we hold a lot of hurts in our field. So before we start, I'm just going to backtrack just a bit before we get ahead of ourselves. So thank you for joining. Today we will get to the healing part of this, obviously, because it is the healing call. But I'll just have a bit of a chat. And usually I come with, I don't even usually prepare of what I'm going to speak about. It just kind of comes to me. And actually, it was only about 15 minutes ago where I felt very strongly to talk about forgiveness. And it's very interesting because the more I work with people, the more I worked on myself, what I realize is when we have any experiences that happen to us, we hold them in our field. So we have our physical body, but we have an emotional layer, a mental layer, an etheric layer, like our auric field. We have a bunch of layers, and some of those layers hold our humanness. They hold every experience that we've ever had, whether we saw it, heard it, watched it on TV, had it happen to us. So when we have these events that feel sad, say someone hurt our feelings, or say if we hurt someone's feelings, we can really hold on to that at an energetic level that doesn't seem to leave our field. Meaning, I want to forgive someone who's done something to me, and I have forgiven them. I say all the right words. You don't even have to go to someone and say, I forgive you. Maybe you can simply think of that person, have them in front of you, and say, I forgive you for what you've done. And that's actually a good practice. You're forgiving them. But then there's part of us, because that memory, that cell memory of the hurt is still in our field. Sometimes that doesn't let go. So today during a healing, if you want to send a special intention to yourself saying, hey, I'm hanging on to this anger, to this shame for something I did. I want to forgive this person, or I want to forgive myself. So I want to bring that on the call today. I want to bring that during the healing. Give yourself permission to heal and forgive at all levels, at all energetic levels, in the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, the mind, the body, all of it. I'm just ready to let it go. Because when you start to let go things, they kind of just leave, they will leave energetically, and you're just going to feel lighter. And when you see that person, you can generally tell if you've forgiven when you can see that person and that memory doesn't pop up again, and you actually feel like more relaxed around them. So some people will say, I forgave this person, but when I see them, I just feel gross inside. Well, that's because energetically the cells remember what they did, so you haven't really fully forgiven. So I'm going to go through a PowerPoint that I put together. So like I said, some of you have seen this before, but I think it's a good reminder a lot of my clients, I always tell them to use Ho'oponopono. It's a great way to heal as well. And they'll say, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. I've been using Ho'oponopono for about 12 years, and we'll go over what that is in the presentation. But Ho'oponopono is an ancient Hawaiian method of healing, which is so powerful. And I used it to get through my divorce, where I went through all that crap, and yet at the end, I'm truly able to say that I love my ex-husband for every experience he gave me, because he made me a part of who I am today. And when I see him, there's nothing in my cells that say, oh, I hate him for what he did. No, nothing. I actually do feel complete, fine with him, very neutral. There's no anger, because I worked through a lot of it. Trust me, there was lots of anger. It was 22 years of anger, but I wrote letters. So one, I get a lot of clients asking, how do I express my feelings to someone? Well, you don't have to go into their face and tell them off or tell them how you feel. What I used to do and what I suggest is write a letter to that person. Now you may want to write an email, but don't put to that person, just in case you accidentally send it. Put to yourself to the mail, like the recipient. And then you put dear whoever, and let your feelings just pour through. It is such a healing thing to say everything you want to. Just type it away, write it away. And then if you send it, but you're sending it to yourself, you can then either read it later, because you're just letting it go. You're just kind of sending it to their higher selves. And sometimes you can take what you've written and burn it on a full moon, which I've done, and it feels really good. Just use paper that actually burns, because when it's cold outside and you're trying to burn the paper, and then some of this paper does not burn, it's very frustrating. It ruins the whole kind of ceremony that you're doing for yourself. But there are ways to release those emotions. You can pretend the person's in front of you and talk to them. You can have a pillow and punch the pillow and talk to the pillow. There are great ways to release those feelings that are hiding in the background. Hold on. Okay, forgiveness and boundaries are different in a little bit. When you forgive someone, someone's asking about boundaries. Boundaries has to do with self-love and self-respect. As you start the healing process, your self-love will start to improve. And that's where boundaries naturally come in. We don't have boundaries because we feel we're undeserving. We don't deserve to be treated better. So that's where the lack of boundaries happen. So when you want to forgive someone and you're trying to put boundaries in at the same time, it's great to try, but what really you're doing is you're starting to learn that I deserve more respect, but that comes from your own self-love. Anytime you do healings, anytime you're doing affirmations, loving yourself, looking in the mirror and saying, I love you, Brenda, I love you so much, that's building your self-love, which is so important. Most of humanity's issues have to do with lack of self-respect and self-love. And I mean, I'll put my hands up, both hands for that. That was my biggest issue. And as you start to work through those issues and really start to find that love for yourself, everything starts to come into play. Boundaries then happen. The forgiveness in the way I see it is it's different. Forgiveness is one aspect, boundaries is another. They kind of go hand in hand, because if you're going to forgive someone, well, and that person takes advantage of you, and you're saying, yeah, it's okay. No, it's not okay for someone to take advantage of you. So another trick is there's forgiveness, yes. There's boundaries, yes. And there is kind of like a cycle. So if you're dealing with somebody where you're in this push-pull relationship, forgive, don't. When you're forgiving, doesn't mean that you're allowing yourself to be a doormat. You want to forgive those feelings and let them go so they can heal. Because if somebody hurts us or we hurt someone and we repress those repressed feelings are not going to allow us to continue to grow. And they generally will keep coming up for you to acknowledge them and release them. And most of us hate those icky feelings, so we repress them back in the field. Anytime something's bubbling up, the best thing to do is acknowledge it and say, oh, I'm having this feeling. I don't know exactly what it's about, but it's about this person again. Okay, I've been with this person for how many years? They've hurt me so much. I don't know what memory's coming up, but I realize there's something I need to heal about this relationship. So honor it and say, okay, I'm allowing it to heal. I may not understand it, and breathe through and just say, okay, I'm letting it go. I acknowledge there's an issue, I'm letting it go. And I allow the light to come in and heal wherever it's needed, whether it's a physical pain, emotional, mental, whatever it is. I'm ready for the healing. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'll go through this. I won't talk too much. Well, I'm not going to promise that. I'll do my best not to talk too long. So I'm going to share my screen too here, which is that. Okay, now, like I said, some of you may remember this one. It's just, it seems to be a topic that keeps coming up in emails and texts that I get. So when we forgive, really, we're forgiving anyone that has hurt us intentionally or not. And then we're going to forgive ourselves. So a lot of people who hurt us are hurting us unconsciously. They're in a program, they're in their own hurts. So what will happen is they will hurt us either knowing it or not knowing it. But when we're hurt, we hold that in our field, we hold it in our memories, we hold it in our cells, and it hurts. But when we allow this to stay there, that hurt, we're in chains, we're kind of binded ourselves, we're kind of repeating the memory, we're in a loop, we're in a pattern, we're not moving forward. So when you start to forgive, you're breaking those chains that are stopping you from personal growth. And really, in the end, you're forgiving everyone and everything and yourself for your growth. So yes, you are releasing other people, but you're doing it for you, so you can become that beautiful being that you truly are. Forgiveness is easier said than done. We all know that. Like you want to forgive someone, but sometimes we're too angry to forgive someone. Sometimes we want revenge more than we want our own healing. And actually, that is there's these things called psychological reversals where people want to heal, but there is something hiding in the background. It's a program that says, I don't want to heal because I would rather stop my healing because I'm so angry. I want revenge for the person. And sometimes it has to do with this lifetime. But it's very interesting when you kind of dig deep with some people and their issues. They have something in their field where they would rather hang on to anger because they want to the revenge for it, than their own healing. And sometimes we have to go really back in the subconscious and fix that psychological reversal. So it says, okay, I'm ready to let go of the vengeance and the anger so I can heal. So it's very interesting. So sometimes when you're dealing with releasing something, and you're trying and you just can't. Sometimes it's something in the background that says, no, you're not letting it go. You're going to stay angry. And I don't care if that's not good for you. You're just so angry. But by staying angry, you're hurting yourself and you're slowing down your personal progress. So if you do notice that you are angry all the time over one event, start writing things down, trying to figure out, and then ask yourself, do I deserve to heal? Do I deserve to forgive? And feel what that feels like. You might get a no. You don't deserve to let it go. You don't deserve, because part of you wants that revenge. If that's something that comes up, there are affirmations you can say, or you can do deeper work, but just bring that up today as we're doing the healing, to say, okay, I know there's something holding me on with this thing I'm angry about. And sometimes it might be something you and your spouse are great now, but that spouse may have done something to you 5 years ago. And although you think you forgave that person, it keeps bubbling up. That bubbling up is in the field ready for real, true healing. And sometimes you have to acknowledge it and then let it go. Now, there are some ways that you can use affirmations for forgiveness, and you don't have to write these down. I will give you this deck, so something you can refer back to. But there's an affirmation. There's actually, there's that. I'm not even going to read it because it's there. And if you want, you're giving yourself permission. You're going kind of at a deeper level to say, okay, I am letting any unharmonized emotions that are created by this to be let go wherever it's hiding. Just allow it to come through. And as you're starting to forgive yourself, and you're freeing all parties. So there's an affirmation. I forgot how this affirmation came about. It was a while ago. This presentation was kind of a channeled one before another session, and they kind of just reminded me today that this is a good one to use. So I found it, and here it is. So those are 2 affirmations you can say if they resonate. So anything I ever suggest, always make sure it resonates with you, because what works for one person may not work for someone else. Now, we talked about self-punishment already. Forgiveness can be difficult because it's a deserving issue. I don't deserve. So the other one was I wanted revenge. This is a bit different. I don't deserve to heal, to forgive. I need self-punishment. This is also another psychological reversal that hides in the background. So it could be that you feel guilty for something you've done, but sometimes it's a past life thing where you feel like you need to pay off some karmic debt. So I need to suffer this lifetime because of the karmic debt, because of something I've done in a past life that is in my spiritual DNA. It's in my Akashic records. And I, for some reason, don't feel deserving to heal. So we continue to punish ourselves, and we don't allow ourselves to forgive, and we don't allow us to move forward. So again, this could be an issue in this lifetime or a past life, or could be both or many. So this can be a bit complicated, but sometimes if you go into a quiet meditation or start writing things down and ask yourself, why am I not allowing myself to heal this? Why can't I forgive this person? Why can't I forgive myself for this? So something I have done. And if you start to write things down, your answers might just pop up if you're ready to know what they are. So it could be that I don't feel I deserve it. Sometimes it has to do with lack of self-love. Sometimes it's the need for self-punishment. Sometimes it's due to vengeance. So it's kind of neat if you start to really be in tune with how you're feeling, the thought patterns kind of going within. And a lot of people say, well, go within, go within. Well, how do you go within? It's so frustrating when someone says go within. And if you don't know what that means, I would say it's something that you're slowly going to practice. You're just kind of sitting with yourself, like quietly, quieting your mind. I prefer to write, because when I'm writing, my mind quiets because I'm focusing on what I'm writing or typing. But if I'm sitting in a room and I'm trying to think, my mind might go everywhere. Back in the day, it would go everywhere and anywhere except where I wanted it to go. But over time, as you start to have that quiet time and start to focus, maybe writing, say, you know what, like, why can't I forgive this person? Write the issue that you keep feeling coming up. What is it about there? There's an energetic tie. And then once you start to figure it out, you can start using either the affirmation, Ho'oponopono, or other things to start to really release it. Next, this is a powerful prayer from Tom Seymour. I slightly changed it with something, but I can't remember. I just added, I think, beings of love and light in there. Now, many years ago, I think 12 years ago, maybe 13 years ago, I went to see this angel lady, and she said, Brenda, you have a problem with forgiving yourself. So she gave me this prayer. She said, say this every day. And I did. And my life, with a bunch of other stuff I was doing, really started to change. But it is so powerful because it is asking for beings of love and light to assist and comfort anyone I have ever harmed, either physically, mentally, morally, spiritually, emotionally, in any past, present, or future life. Everything is happening now. We live on planet Earth. Time is something that we need to experience things in linear form. So we have a past, present, future, but in essence, time doesn't really exist. So everything is happening now. And the way I can explain it is put a point on a paper. Everything's right now. Your current life, your future life, your past life. As you start to heal now in the present moment, the most important life is the one we're living now. But as we're healing this one, you're actually rewriting the past, creating a better future, and rewriting the now. So healing is very powerful, and it's amazing. When you start to heal, you're healing your kids' lives, anyone on your spiritual DNA, your mother, your father, your siblings. It's really quite neat how it works. But this is a very powerful prayer. And then you start to ask for forgiveness for friends and family. So say if I hurt someone in a past life, well, I didn't just hurt that person. I may have hurt their friends and family. So you're asking for forgiveness for anyone I've ever hurt. And this prayer I used to say every day religiously over and over and over. It still comes to my mind where I will ask, because sometimes things bubble up like a weird memory. I'm like, okay, I don't know where that memory's from. So I assume sometimes it's from a past life. And I say, okay, well, I ask all and any and all beings of light to, assist anyone I've ever hurt, things like that. So that you can use that if it resonates with you. Personally, I find it very powerful. And then lastly, we have the Ho'oponopono. This is extremely powerful. I love it because this has made any relationship that I've had a lot of like sadness, emotional torment, and it has neutralized it, because as I'm saying, really the main thing of Ho'oponopono is I'm sorry. It's at the bottom there. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you and thank you. You say this in your head over and over. It could be for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, then later another 5 minutes. You say it whenever you start to bubble up because you're feeling something. So let's just say me and someone are arguing for whatever reason. I'm upset over it. I will say in my head, I am sorry, please forgive me. I love you and thank you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you and thank you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I kind of chant it. Now I just say it in my head. Now I usually give this to people who are going through divorce, where there's a lot of anger and hurt and they just want to go after each other in court. And I said, if you use the Ho'oponopono, you guys are going to be able to communicate better. Your children are going to benefit from that because the anger and the frustration is going to go away because all those triggers are going to heal. You are not only healing yourself, you're healing everyone involved in this situation. So if you're thinking about an ex or even a best friend, something happened, you say it over and over, you're healing yourself, but you're healing them as well. But some people will say, well, I don't want to heal my ex. Why the heck would I do this stupid Ho'oponopono? So I usually say it as though you are an ambassador of the universe. So it's not Brenda saying it for my ex. I am being an ambassador of the universe, saying it for Brenda and so and so. So I'm removing the emotion out of it. So it's not Brenda saying it, because Brenda is pissed off. She doesn't want to say it. But Brenda, the 5D version of Brenda, the higher self of Brenda, the ambassador of the universe, Brenda, is gladly going to say it to help Brenda and whoever is pissing her off, and vice versa. So they're both going to heal. This is super powerful. It can change horrible situations into a full 180. I rarely fight with anyone anymore, because if there's anything that comes up, because of course we all have triggers, I do Ho'oponopono and I'm healing myself and I'm healing them. You can do it with your coworkers, your boss, your kids, your spouse, your friends, whoever. It's a neighbor that's pissed off at you, whatever. It's phenomenal. And it's so simple, because you can go grocery shopping, being a little bit angry at someone and doing Ho'oponopono in your head. And suddenly you're just going to feel a lot more relaxed. And then that person who's apparently all pissed off with you might just call, and it's like, everything's just cool. It's like, wow. So you start to play with it and you'll see how powerful it is. And lastly, forgive yourself and others. I've done many meditations, and one that I get is the best, easiest way through this ascension process is forgiveness. It's forgiveness of anyone and anything that has ever done anything to you, intentionally or not. And then you forgive yourself for anything that you've ever done. And then you're actually clearing away that energy, and makes things a lot lighter. And you can, what they say, move through ascension a lot more smoother. So, and there's a lot of like anger and polarization. Like you could be thinking about, oh, I'm angry because this is coming out. Well, you know what? It is what it is at that point. So why let it bother me? I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you and thank you over and over. So just a quick review. We have a Ho'oponopono. You have that beautiful prayer, which is so powerful. You have different reasons of why we don't. And then there's that affirmation, which you can do if it resonates with you. But that's kind of going deep into those energy fields to let whatever go. Sometimes we can be angry at our bodies because our bodies are not responding the way they want to. Why am I sick? I do everything I'm supposed to. I eat well, I exercise, I this. Why the hell am I sick? Well, sometimes we're sick because we can't forgive, or we have an emotional trauma we can't let go of, which stops all those energies from flowing the way they're supposed to flow. So there's many different reasons to why our bodies don't respond. So sometimes we're angry at our bodies for not responding. So then you can forgive yourself for being mad at your body. Having a relationship with your body and your cells is so important. Every cell is conscious. And when you're mad at it, it knows you're mad at it. So sending love and appreciation and knowing that your body can heal. At this time, healing can be either very spontaneous or it can be very gradual. Whatever your healing is that's going on, whether it's an emotional healing, a physical healing, just be kind to yourself. There is no, like, it has to be done by this time, or I have to be here. It doesn't have to be there. It's at your own timing. We all have this soul's journey. We all have our own timing. So once you kind of just surrender to the process and say, where I am is where I'm meant to be, it is such a liberating idea that I don't have to be somewhere else. I am not supposed to be doing anything else. My life shifts all the time. It just, I don't know what's coming the next day. I just kind of blindly go where my heart pulls me. And I now have no expectations of anything. And what happens, because I don't have the expectations, I just find that it just surprises me. I'm like, wow, that's really cool how this happens. So when we start to trust ourselves, forgive others, show compassion and kindness, and really start connecting with our true, the true answers, which are the answers in our own heart, then life's just easier. And I always learn something new. It's endless. And like this week's learning, oh my gosh, there was a lot. I've been going very introverted lately, but I think, what was it? That was the main thing. Of course, the forgiveness is always there, but it was almost like what I saw, and I kind of got an answer in meditation, is everybody, and I already know this, but they showed me always different ways, so I really get it. But we all have our own soul's journey. So you can live in a family of 5 people, and we're all so different. We all have our viewpoints, and we all have what's right, what's this, what's that. And nobody's wrong. We all have different viewpoints. So one person is going this way. One person wants to go this way. One person wants to go that way. One person wants to do that. And once you realize that, hey, we're different, we all have our own soul's calling, our own heart's desires. And you just kind of like, wouldn't it be boring if we didn't? So as a mom, my children, yes, they're my children, but really they're God's children. They use my body as a vessel to come here. I've given them as much as I could, but my spirituality may not be their spirituality, let's say. And you know what? I understand that. I try not to push my views on my children, but of course they're going to hear me talking the way I talk and frustrate them, not frustrate, whatever. But it's very interesting to see what they pick and use in their lives and what they don't like and whatnot. But who am I to say what they're doing is wrong or what I'm doing is right? It's not. It's right for me, but it may not be right for them. So there's a lot of polarization happening in the world right now. And it's just an ascension process. It's a personal ascension process. Everyone's going within to trying to figure out what is my truth. So that's where we have to forgive ourselves if we were too judgmental on others, kind of putting our viewpoint, no, this is the way it is and whatnot. Yeah, it is the way it is in my viewpoint, but it may not be to someone else's. So people are going to do whatever's calling in their heart. Sometimes we were a little bit like, back in the day, I usually chose all the bad things that happen. Like I would walk into danger, walk into stupid situations, and it would frustrate people. But that was part of my soul's growth. I needed to learn to go within and listen to my heart, and I wasn't good at it. So if I didn't have those experiences, and if I didn't make those mistakes, and I didn't spend those nights crying and freaking out, well, would I be who I am today? So I know it hurts when we see our children suffering, our parents suffering, our friends suffering. But if we put band-aids on them and try to shelter them, do they really grow to what those experiences? And I get it. Nobody likes to see someone hurting. But then I think back to how much I went through, and I'm like, wow, it's like I made it. And I know that we can support, but listen to them. Don't try to put your views as a band-aid on them. Say, okay, no, what you're thinking is not right. Just go this way. This is the way. But instead, open your heart, listen to what they're saying, and try, as they're saying things that may not make sense to you because it's not your reality, it's not your understanding. But if you just stay there with an open heart, with love and compassion, and let them say what's on their mind without kind of going, oh, that sounds so wrong, like what are they thinking? And just, it's their thought process. So you're kind of helping them walk through their emotions. And sometimes it's just an unconditional ear of kindness that can help someone heal tremendously, where you're just listening with an open heart and saying, okay, I may not understand what you're going through. I may not agree with what you're saying, but I'm here, and I'll be your listening ear. And perhaps, you may have to guide them for other help, and that's okay too. But sometimes people just need to talk and express their point of view or why they did something. And then I always come back to love yourself, forgive yourself for anything that's really bothering you, and then start to heal. And maybe, pass along this deck, because it might help someone, or teach them Ho'oponopono, because it's very soothing once you start to get into the rhythm of saying that. With that all said and done, I will send out either the link to that or the actual presentation, so you can always refer back to it. We're going to start the best part of this, which is the healing. We're going to allow this beautiful energy to come through, and all of us are feeling it. It's there. There's so much love on this planet. Just a very short thing to make people feel, a little more secure. I know things seem very uncomfortable for a lot of people, but there is so much happening in the background. I feel so much calmness with everything that's going on. I just realize it's a process that has to go through, because when you have a tornado forming, you have cold and hot air, and it's all twirling together. Well, all that's happening right now is you have dark energy and love energy, and it's doing the same thing. And as it's kind of working its way through, it's chaos. And how do you stay out of the chaos? Try not to add to it. When you hear something, just go in your heart and say, is that my truth? It doesn't have to be your truth. And say, no, that's not mine. I don't feel it. I'm just going to let it go. If there's something that I don't like, oh my God, I don't like a lot of things, but I just go access denied, permission denied. I am protected by love and light, and what's happening around me does not affect me. It stays out of my field. And I kind of just push it away mentally or with my hands and say, that doesn't belong in my reality. We are sharing a human collective. So as it's happening to humanity, we're all kind of in this wave of crap that we're in, but it doesn't have to be your immediate reality. You can still be enjoying life, enjoying those things that make you happy with the chaos going around you. So you're staying in the eye of the storm, which is a calm place while everything's going around. And some people might be angry with you because they don't understand why you're so happy and calm, and you shouldn't be happy in this because everything's crazy. Well, I choose not to be in the 3D craziness, and that's my choice. So if I want to keep my peace, then I go within for my peace, and I connect to my heart, and I know all is well, because it's just a process we're in, and it's a beautiful process. And so everything's about perception, how you think about it. Everything's neutral. I can either add fear or worry to it, and I can go down one way, or I can say, wow, this is happening for the greater good of humanity. I'm sending love to everyone, and I'm going to stay as peaceful as I can, and I can shift it to a better place and still have a pretty calm state of being while all this stuff is going on. All right, everyone. So today, the intention will be that this beautiful energy comes in and clears away whatever you need at a physical level, a mental level, emotional level. We can't force the energy. The energy is there. It's up for your higher self to take what you need. We make it available to anyone in your household, any pets. Again, nothing can be forced. It's there. If their higher self decides to use it, great. If not, that's okay too. If you're worried about someone who's not on the call, not in your household, you have the power to send an intention. Ask that energy to go to whoever you're worried about. Again, we're not forcing it. The energy is made available to that person and they can take what they need. We will also be sending it out to all of humanity. The way I can describe it is when we start to go into this, that's energy. It's like a bubble of liquid love is put around Mother Earth, and it is given to any soul on this planet that needs it. There are a lot of people who are in chaos right now, not knowing that they have any ability to create their own reality. And they're just allowing life to throw them in every which direction. Well, may they feel the love in their heart, that call their heart to let them know that they are loved, that they do have power to create their own reality. So again, I don't know what everyone on this planet needs, but whatever they need, we'll try to make it available to them, and their higher selves will take what they're ready for at that time. Some people will feel a bit hungry, dizzy, thirsty. All those are normal. Some people can sleep very peacefully after these sessions. Some people a little more agitated as they're releasing. Some people burp all night. Some people are drinking all night so they can't sleep and end up in the bathroom, whatever. That's just your way of healing. And you might have some people have kind of the same thing that happens after every session. Some people it changes per session. So it really depends. There's no right or wrong on how we heal. It's very unique to us. So with that, we'll get into it. You can either lay down, keep your eyes closed or open. I prefer to close my eyes. If it puts you to sleep, that is okay. The healing energy is going to work whether you're conscious or not conscious. With the difference between meditation and Reiki, and I think this is why people like Reiki a lot better, is your mind doesn't have to be in a meditative state for Reiki to work. You could be, thinking about this, this, and this. It's working in the field. Whereas when you're meditating, you're trying to like focus your breath. For those who can focus their breath during a Reiki session, they're more likely to feel sensations like the tingling feeling, the heat sensation, the feelings of waves of love, whatever it is. So they kind of get more of a tactile feeling from the Reiki. But the actual benefit, as long as you're giving permission and allowing it to do it, it's going to do whatever your higher self is guiding it to do. So don't be upset that you fell asleep. That's great. If you fall asleep, it's fine. Or I was thinking about work the whole time. That's okay. It's still working. We're bypassing your mind. That's how we're getting that energy to you. So I think that's sums it up. At the end, I'll do the singing bowl. Feel free to just hang up. At that point, I may say a few words, and it's already 9:08. We'll get at least 20 minutes of healing, 22 minutes. So I'm going to stop talking right now, put on some music. And if you have any questions, you can always put them in the box and I'll try to answer them afterwards. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to get this going. I'm going to share my music and we'll begin. I'm just going to drink some water as well. I'm very thirsty. A lot of people are complaining of a lot of thirst lately. Yeah, there's a lot happening in our system. Drink, drink, drink. It gets rid of toxins. It's really good to just flush out everything. So drink tons of water. Okay, here we go. Sharing my music and we're going to begin. Okay, everyone. So it's the healing part is done. Although it's done, the energy will continue to work for 3, 4, 5 days even. Drink plenty of water because you'll be releasing any toxins that you might need to. You might wake up excessively thirsty. That's completely normal. Even if you're waking up 2 or 3 times to drink a big glass of water twice or 3 times, that's okay. It's not strange to do that. That's drink as much as your body needs to release those toxins. Remember, the energy is using the water as a conduit, so as it's doing its thing, it can make us very thirsty. If anyone has any questions, you can put them in the chat. I'll read them. Other than that, I think I'll stop talking, because if I start up, I'm not going to stop, and it's already 9:30. It's been a long day. I'm going to say it's been a fun day, but a long day. You're all very welcome. I always enjoy doing this. So I think the next one is a Saturday at 10 in the morning. I think it might actually be on the 18th. I'm just trying to mix it up a little bit with the Christmas or holiday season coming as well. And then that'll be the first, the last one, the 18th before Christmas. And then we'll do one on the 28th before the New Year. And I'm probably going to be sending out a survey if I can get it together, because there's a few ideas I had for some other type of healing calls to see if anyone's interested. But they're actually pretty neat. A lot of things coming up from questions, so we can go to deeper healings on some calls, maybe a limit of 10 people on a call and go really deep into some stuff. But put out some feelers out there, see if people are interested or not. So you're all very welcome. Thank you for all the kind words. Yeah, they're always really nice sessions, but we're all doing this together, right? So when we start sending out that energy to the world, and I can actually picture it, it's almost like the world is just engulfed in a bubble of liquid love. And actually, the way we ended it today is that each of you are in a bubble of liquid love. And if you ever feel off balance, or you're feeling, overwhelmed, and I've had that many times this week, breathe, breathe, and just say things like, I am safe, I'm in a bubble of love, liquid love, whatever makes you feel good. I am protected. One thing I know to be true is when we say yes to the ascension process and we say yes to the light, and we're all protected and your family's protected. It was very interesting because what we're going through is each and every one is going through our own ascension process. It's going and letting go of our own internal dialogues, our the good and bad within us, the deep dark day of the soul, all that like stuff people will say. A lot of people are coming for sessions saying, I'm falling apart, I don't know who I am anymore, I'm having this struggle. And it's quite neat to see how just normal people who have never been opened up to spirituality are having awakenings, and it's like uncomfortable feeling, and people just don't know how to, like, what's happening to me. It's uncomfortable, but it's not uncommon. So many people are going through it, and it's really part of that purging all that crap that's in our field, that heavy energy, and replacing it with love and light. So in essence, what we're all doing is releasing that dense dark energy and anchoring more light. So we're in essence bringing heaven on earth, and we're holding more light for those who are doing it a little bit earlier than others. Not to say we're better, we're just doing it earlier because we're helping hold the light for those who can't. And whether we have friends or family who are going through their own stuff, don't understand what's going on, they might be doom and gloom and very negative. All we can really do is hold the light for them and lend a ear, send compassion and love. But you can't force anyone to wake up. You can't force your views on anyone. So just be that light, that lighthouse for those who don't understand it, may not understand you. And a lot of people are feeling like their friends are falling apart, or they're feeling like they want to be alone all the time because they don't fit in anymore, or you feel like you're not part of society anymore because you're outcasted. All those weird feelings are coming up, thinking like, what's happened? And it is an uncomfortable feeling, but you're never alone, because when you go into your heart, you can feel those beings of love, light, that love you so unconditional. And there's so many people who are starting to waken up, and where weird was once weird, weird's more normal than ever before. So, things will shift, and new friends will come about, and new relationships will happen, and it's all good. So just enjoy the process. And I know for some it gets very frustrating, very lonely, and stand up for your truths. You don't have to go telling everybody, whatever, because most people don't want to hear it anyway. But you don't have to do anything you're not comfortable with. This is your thought process. So you know what? Just if you post something because it was something that was in your heart, and have something loving, whatever, and people think you're crazy for doing that, who cares what they think? If you're sending out good cheer, love, compassion, kindness, how can you be doing anything wrong? So, yeah, just go within. The answers are there. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And I think that's it for today. I'm just looking to see if there's any questions. Lots of kind words here. Thank you, everyone. I'm feeling very dizzy. So another thing too, if you feel dizzy, sometimes from these sessions or even just out of the blue, sometimes what happens is we kind of get pulled too high, so you kind of get, like, I spend most of my day feeling that way, and I lose track of time a lot because I can, which is not great when you're trying to live in 3D. So it's kind of hard to switch back and forth. But you may want to stomp your feet on the ground. That really, and ask Mother Earth to ground you to the ground, and her earth energy will come up your body and anchor you more, so you kind of lose that dizzy, flighty feeling, especially when you're going to drive. You want to kind of really ground yourself before you're like driving or need to be alert. Yeah, so it's asking for that, and some people, like, they say, okay, well, the dizziness is there. Sometimes that's part of the spiritual changes that's happening. And words of advice I've received is walk carefully. So when you're really dizzy, because like, try grounding. If it doesn't work, walk carefully. Just be careful. So that dizziness can be a side effect of healing. Whether you're doing something like this, meditating, or just sometimes when there's those new moons and that powerful energy coming on Earth to purge us, we all can get a little bit lighter feeling and stuff like that. So our bodies are going through tremendous changes. Just bear with your body. Eat as healthy as possible. Whole foods, fresh fruits and vegetables as much as possible. They're very high vibrating. They can help you out. I mean, some days I'll just buy blueberries and just eat thousands of them and get sick of them and choose something else. But whatever it is, try to eat those, the kind of like help raise your vibration. And sometimes we can feel very sad, angry, frustrated, but we don't know why. Sometimes that's just part of healing, and honor it, because it might be something in your field bubbling up for release. Don't ignore it. Say, hey, there's something going on here and I'm feeling very uncomfortable. For me, it's usually in my throat. But for some people, it could be anywhere. And just say at that time, just say, hey, if you're feeling that, just say, hey, I'm honoring whatever's. I'm not going to suppress it. I'm just going to allow it to heal. And I usually say, Archangel Michael or beings of light, please help me out here. I'm releasing something and it feels very uncomfortable. I don't know exactly what it's from, but I know it's not good. So I honor it. I'm releasing it, and I want it out of my field. And if I need to know what it is, let me know. If I don't need to know, just let it go. And because I've acknowledged it, I'm actually letting it go out of my field. It's better. But if I just go, oh, not this feeling again, it sucks, and repress it back, then what happens is it's going to bubble up again. So let it come up, deal with it. And when I say deal with it, just acknowledge it's there. Crappy feelings are here. Something's coming up. Let it go and replace it with love and light. And then you'll kind of feel great again, and then you might dip again. So healing is like this friggin' roller coaster. So enjoy it when you feel great. Honor it when you feel like crap. Another thing is have a bath. If you're feeling really bad, have a bath with Epsom salt and baking soda, and just let all those toxins pull away for about 40 minutes if you can do it that long. There's other ways. Walk outside, walk on earth, hug a tree, talk to a friend, a positive friend, not a doom and gloom friend. Try to, be careful who you speak to. Don't watch the media. That's a big one for me. I don't watch TV. Anything that comes in my field, I choose it. And it's usually funny, happy stuff. So not to say I'm oblivious about what's happening around me, but what's happening around me is not something I want in my reality. So if I hear about something I don't like, I just send it love and light and say, access denied, permission denied. It's not going to affect me directly. And it kind of pisses off people when I say that, especially family members who say I live in a bubble. And I go, well, you know what? My goal here is to hold the light for those who can't. And if I allow myself to get trapped in the 3D world of doom and gloom, then I can't do what I'm meant to do. So me taking care of my energy is my most important thing. So I just focus on the good. And sometimes I have worries because there's things that are happening that really bother me. And I just take a deep breath and I just go in and I ask, what is the truth? And I get a very clear, like, okay, what they're saying is not truthful, so just let it go. And I just let it go and trust. But you kind of have to just practice and talk to your guides, because you don't have to go to someone else for the answers, because the answers are here, because you're connected to infinite intelligence. So it's really quite neat when you start to learn and trust yourself. It's just practicing and practicing and practicing, and that connection gets stronger and stronger. And then the more you trust and believe, the more they give you. So we all are connected the same way. So it's quite neat if you start to play with it and trust it. All right. Oh, someone, yeah. Try vegan. Oh, yeah. Some. When I was saying to raise your vibration, try vegan. Um, it's easier said than done. But I've learned to drink oat milk lately. I'm loving oat milk. Oh my gosh, I used to be a big milk drinker, and now I'm loving oat milk, and I can't get enough of it. So, slow baby steps. But yeah, I love my cheese. So you can show me a good vegan cheese out there, let me know because cheese is my weakness. All right, everyone, have a good night. Sleep well, drink water, and we'll see you on the 18th. And the replay will be up, and I'll usually send an email saying it's up in the next 24 hours or so. All right, everyone, have a peaceful sleep, and yeah, okay. Yeah, call me and we'll chat about me going vegan. It's not easy transition for me, but I'm doing my best. All right, everyone. Have a peaceful night and sleep well. Good night.